You said earlier that you were involved in drafting this legislation. So I want to know, what was the purpose of putting this particular section into the Act?
I was involved in the process of consultation on the Act. I can't speak as to a specific purpose for a specific section because I did not draft the Act. I was consulted on the Act.
Were you aware of this particular section that is in the Act?
Yes.
And what was your view of this particular section when you saw it there?
I can't remember. It was 27 years ago.
As a matter of fact, as I understand it, that it is indeed an offence to allow a person who is not in possession of a particular license or competency to have a firearm in his possession. Is that correct?
No, you're incorrect.
You explain to me.
Section 22 permits it. Regulation 21 permits it. And there are probably other examples if I had to apply my mind to it. There's also provision, it's called an SAP 539, which is contained in Regulation 86 for the storage and possession of somebody else's firearm. That's examples that come to hand, immediately come to hand.
You said you've never in your career seen this type of charge in your 20 years. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said that in my experience, I've never seen this section applied to the owner or a responsible person of a security company.
But have you ever seen anybody being charged under this particular section?
Not that I can immediately recollect, but that doesn't mean to say that it hasn't happened.
You also made an example earlier that you've never seen this particular section being applied. Then you also said that there must be a direct interaction between the parties. I don't know whether I recorded your answer correctly, but can you just explain what did you mean if you say there must be a direct interaction?
I'm not quite sure what part of my evidence you're talking about, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. What I meant was, when you give possession, you can do it in a number of different ways. So you can hand it to somebody, or you can allow them to access it. But possession is not defined in the Act.
If I give you a scenario that, for example, say accused number 1 fired shots in the air with a particular semi-automatic rifle that was provided by accused number 2, would this offence then be, this particular section then be applicable in those instances?
Well, you're not giving me facts, so I can't comment. I don't know what the facts.
He's putting facts to you.
So you're saying that accused number 2 gave accused number 1 a firearm?
That's correct. To fire shots in the air at a particular stadium here in East London.
Okay, but please bear in mind, as I've pointed out, this section is not that simple, because it says who is not allowed in terms of this Act to possess a firearm. Mr. Malema, as I understand, the accused number 1, is not unfit to possess a firearm. So he's not allowed in terms of this, he's not disqualified in terms of the Act from possessing a firearm.
I don't know if I understand your answer properly.
I can give my firearm to you in my presence. That's not an offence, unless you have been declared unfit to possess a firearm.
But can you give your firearm to this particular person knowing that he's about to commit an offence when you are present